is going on? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin podcast. This is the show where we discuss trending stories and thought-provoking topics from the fields of politics, sports, pop culture, and really so much more. We are simply just a show where we love to have a great conversation and just kick back, relax, and just have a simple dialogue. Here and there, I bring on some awesome people for just guests to have a great conversation depending on the theme of the topic and stuff like that. And I'm very honored because I do have a lot of great guests in store for the next upcoming episodes, man, and I'm really excited to have them on. But once again, before I always start this, I always got to say thank you. Thank you for those who continue to tune in, who are avid listeners and viewers and supporters of the Arrington Gavin podcast. This is episode 80. Episode 80, y'all. It's crazy. It has already been 80 episodes. It feels like it was just yesterday. Excuse me. But this show, hey, we continue to grow. We have some more great ideas happening with this program, and I can't wait to share with you in the near future. Hopefully, the near future. Like always, new episodes of this show airs every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast or wherever you listen to your podcast. If that's Apple, iHeart, Odyssey, Stitcher, Spotify. There's a new platform called Hayti, Hayti. It's a black-owned platform. It's really awesome. I'm excited to be a part of it. It is the number one network that has strictly black content creators a part of that. So all the shows, all the podcasts up there are from black content creators and creators of color. So I'm thrilled and honored to be a part of that. We are a part of the R Smooth Club Media network. So if you go under those any of those podcast platforms, all you have to do is just type in R Smooth Club Media, the letter R, and then Smooth Club Media. You'll find the Arrington Gavin podcast there. If you prefer to watch the video version of this show, okay, if you prefer to watch that airs on the same night, on the same days, that's scrolling down at the bottom at 5 p.m. on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is R Smooth Club Media. Also on Rumble at the Arrington Gavin podcast on Rumble, and R Smooth Club podcast on Facebook, and RSC R_S_C media on X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know how long I'm going to keep on saying that, but I'm going to keep on saying it. Formerly known as Twitter. But got a line of great things we're going to talk about today. Started off by talking about a true legend of Hampton Roads, the one and only Allen Iverson, the GOAT. Okay, Allen Iverson is a Hampton Roads native. He's originally from Newport News, and Tuesday, I'm gonna bring this up. This past Tuesday, a street was named after him in his hometown in Newport News. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. And this is reported by CBS affiliate WTKR News 3. Shout out to April Woodard and Chandler Nunley. Those are my friends that host a weekly lifestyle show called Coast Live. I'm a regular up there. So I'm just going to read a little bit off this article. So it says here, okay, on Tuesday, a street sign named after the star athlete was unveiled in Newport News. Allen Iverson Way will be located between Wickham Avenue and Walnut Avenue, according to the city. Now, Mayor Philip Jones, very well-respected mayor out there, very young guy too, said, although Iverson is from Hampton, the community sees him as an honorary son of Newport News. Iverson himself attended the street dedication. Governor Youngkin was there. Representative Bobby Scott was there. James Pooh Johnson, Marcellus Boo Williams Jr., and Philadelphia 76ers Vice President Mike Goins also spoke at this event. Now, during his speech, it says here, Iverson paid homage to the people he grew up around. And he quotes, being from Virginia and me changing the culture, everybody talks about how AI changed the culture. Man, that was because of you dudes in here and you women in here, said Iverson. He credited his success in the league to many loved ones, especially his mother Ann. I won't mention what he said to that. It says here, okay, he played high school basketball and football at Bethel High School. Okay, correction. Bethel High School, because I was thinking of another one. The school named its gymnasium and basketball court after the NBA Hall of Famer. He played college basketball at Georgetown University, leaving after his sophomore season to declare for the NBA draft. He was picked up by the Philadelphia 76ers, first overall pick in that draft class. From there, he led a prolific career, and I do mean a prolific career because aside from his talent, he really changed the culture game, I feel like, in the NBA. He had more of that, like, he brought hip hop to the NBA. There wasn't a lot of guys really rocking the braids and the sweatband like AI. AI was a very undersized athlete, but he was quick as hell. He went toe to toe with all the greats. Okay, big, small, tall, whatever. He was not scared. He was a two-sport athlete. He was a hell of a football player. I think he might have did I know he did QB and maybe defensive back, but he was awesome. He was an awesome running back. I mean, not running back, football player. Okay, so it says he was selected into 11 NBA All-Star rosters during his 17 seasons in the NBA. Damn, I didn't know he played 17 seasons. He officially retired in 2013. Says here, okay, with News 3, Iverson said he's just as proud of his work off the court. He's just as proud of his work off the court. His efforts to give back to the community he grew up in include donating a new court to the Greater Hampton Roads Boys and Girls Club in Newport News, donating Christmas presents in the Portsmouth, and organizing tournaments for young athletes in the area and more. Again, shout out to Allen Iverson, a true legend, a true great, and just, I mean, what can you say? The one thing I remember about AI would not really remember, but I mean, who cannot forget practice? You come in here to talk about practice, and it's legendary because everybody is always saying, I don't care what happens in practice. What happens in the game? I'm not gonna go ham in practice because I'm that guy. That's how AI was. He's like, I'm that guy. I ain't doing all that stuff because look, when you see my work in the game, when I get to practice, I do what I want. I ain't got no, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. And he was an unapologetic guy. Did not care what you said about him. If he saw something he didn't like, he will say something. Okay, he will say something. But also, I will say, was it with Reebok? Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think he was like he had signed like a lifelong deal with some shoe company. I'm forgetting which one, but basically when he hits a certain age, I want to say if he hits 50, he would receive like $54 million from this shoe company, because at that time you had these deals that's like, okay, look, you are a guy, but we want to make sure you are secured, and you have these crazy outrageous like contract deals, which I mean, hey, genius, because I know there's a former baseball player that once it's like once a year on this specific day he receives like $1 million because of his contract, like a lifelong deal or something. So I'm just like, hey, y'all got to get the right people to represent you. That's all I can say. Y'all got to get the right people to represent you. But moving on, we're going to be basically sticking around in the sports field throughout this show. The next one I want to bring up involves star athlete Russell Wilson. So, as y'all know, Russell Wilson did not have the best time in Denver last season, the season before that. He was with the Seattle Seahawks for about 10 years, won a Super Bowl with them. Hell of an athlete. He's also, I think he was drafted in the major leagues as well. I mean, he's a great athlete. But as we all know, in sports, and I'm no pro athlete. I played until I was in high school, but let's bring this back using the example of just a regular working job, right? Um, when you transition from one area to another area, whether if it's the exact same job position, it still is some adjustment that you have to do. It's still some adjusting. It's just not, okay, I did this over here for these many years. How hard can it be? I can do the exact same thing I did here. All the success that I had here, I can do it at this location. That's different. That's different in the workplace. That's different on in sports. That's different in anything you pursue in life. You always start from the bottom. Whether if you are moving to a new city, and just getting used to a new town, it's all new. It's all new. It's all fresh stuff. So with Russell Wilson, he obviously came up, the time in Seattle came up to an end, which obviously I thought he was going to retire in Seattle. Him and his wife, Sierra, famous R&B star, pop star, Sierra, they are investors. I think they're part owners of like a pro a soccer team out there in Seattle. They still have a lot of ties in Seattle. I thought he was going to retire there. Didn't work out. He ends up signing with the Denver Broncos. Now, Denver Broncos, they weren't really doing that much. They weren't doing that good. They were not doing that good at all. So, and that was probably Russell's worst season ever. His first is opening season with the Denver Broncos. Now, after that first season, Denver made some noise by hiring Sean Payton, former head coach of the New Orleans Saints, another Super Bowl champ, signing for a lot of money. Now, it wasn't looking good because the relationship between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson was not off to a good start. The newly hired head coach openly said, "Hey, look, it's time to stop kissing babies and play some football." Basically, what I got out of that was stop building a brand outside of football and work on your game here because your talent was sucking when you were playing. Last season you had an awful season. Get it together. You need to let go of all that stuff and bring it back here. Now, I'm gonna tell you why I didn't agree with Sean Payton, because as a pro athlete, professional athlete it's a business, okay? The career span on a professional athlete is, I think, at first it used to be 4 years, then it dropped down to 3 years. A good buddy of mine, who's a current councilman here in my hometown in Chesapeake, Don Carey, who's also a former NFL star. He played 10 years in the NFL. He said the average year is about a year and a half. Okay, it's about a year. So you always have to do what's best for you and your family financially when you're not playing in the game. Okay, now you are always representing the team. You remember the last one of the past shows I've had with my good friend Miss Sabrina Brown of Girlfriends Tea. We talked about representing your brand outside of the workplace. You're always going to be representing your brand, your company, wherever you work for. But Russell never did anything that made the Broncos look bad. He did everything that was helping his image. His wife is a Hollywood star. She is, and what I mean by Hollywood, she's a celeb. She's at all the Hollywood parties. She's a pop star. You're always going to see his face. He's always there representing his wife, and she's doing the same thing that him. They're a power couple, in my opinion. Now I'm a huge Russell Wilson fan. He has some ties in the Hampton Roads area. He's from Virginia as well, and he's a great athlete. But I bring this up because they recently, because it's still the off season now with the NFL, they released him, but Russell did not take really a bad hit, because if you see there, this is titled, and this is reported by The Guardian, the Broncos take $85 million hit to bring Russell Wilson's Denver career to an early end. I hope to get that. There we go. And so what had happened was, it says here, by releasing the 35-year-old, the Denver Broncos will incur an NFL record of $85 million in dead money against their salary cap their salary cap over the next 2 seasons. The distribution of the basically the sum remains at the Broncos' discretion. Yet Wilson is assured $39 million from the Denver squad in the upcoming season. Furthermore, Wilson's $37 million salary for 2025 would have been guaranteed had he remained on the Denver's roster by March 13th. Now, I already mentioned to you a little bit about Russell Wilson, about being the Super Bowl champ. He joined the Broncos in March of 2022 with hopes of aiding a quest to the championship, which did not happen. In September, it says here in September of 2022, Wilson penned a 5-year contract extension with the Denver Broncos, valued at $242 million. Excuse me, $242.6 million. See, that's them big numbers, man. I'm not even used to seeing numbers like that. But the Broncos GM, let me get this off of here. The Broncos GM, George Patton, and Coach Sean Payton issued a joint statement stating, "We spoke with Russell Wilson today to inform him of the release after the start of the league year, which starts next Wednesday." Okay, it says, "On behalf of the Broncos, we thank Russell for yada yada yada." Yeah. He had a great contract. He left out, with some money. The big thing is where would Russell land, because 35 years old, still has a lot of game in him left, because you look at it now, Brady kind of made the blueprint of saying, hey, look, as long as you keep your body healthy, you can play until you're 45 years old. And Brady pretty much did so. Played until he was about 45, 44 years old, I believe. Now, Russell, I truly think there's always room for a QB on an NFL squad. Now, if Russell wants to be a starter, hey, that's going to take some work. But if he wants to be just on a team, maybe play a mentoring role, second string, I think he can do so. But Russell is a person that wants to play. Okay, you have QBs out there that are like, hey, look, I'm here to, I'll be the mentor. That's fine. I'll do that. But Russell wants to play. Teams that could use a QB is a question. Who would be a good? You have the Carolina Panthers, maybe the Giants. Who else? Those are the two squads, because I know Kyle Murray's been injury prone over in Arizona. Arizona's a good state to to live in. It's warm, keeps the body good and taken care of. Man, I do not know on another squad as far as for a starter. Put that in the in the comments too. Who do you think? Which team do you think will be a good fit for Russell Wilson? Should he head back to well, no, he's not gonna head back to Seattle. I don't think that's gonna that might not work out. He might retire as a Seahawk, but I don't think they're not gonna hire him back. And Russ will be a fool to retire early at this time. And because you want to at least retire when you have a somewhat of a a good career. You know what I mean? I would hate for him to call it a career after his experience with Denver and with Sean Payton and that squad. But it will be good. It will be good. Oakland, maybe the Falcons, ATL might help. No, I don't know. But we will follow up more with that story. Again, NFL star Russell Wilson released from the Denver Broncos. But the Broncos is taking a huge hit with that huge $85 million hit. So but Russell's still getting his money. That's all that matters. Guys, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we have some more here on the Arrington Gavin podcast, presented by Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is the new smooth. We'll be back.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, family. All right. Yes, your boy Arrington here, back with more. Let me go ahead and bring on the next story that's kind of shaking up the news right now. Vince McMahon, former founder of World Wrestling Federation and World Wrestling Entertainment. Vince McMahon, the Vince McMahon that has been in the news twice, not for the good reasons, for the bad reasons. He recently made some headlines by selling a huge amount of stock from his shares, along with the company, his WWE parent company, TKO. So, says here, this is reported by Variety, the founder of WWE, who resigned from the board of TKO Group earlier this year amid of sexual allegations against him, filed to sell 400. This is the exact number: $411.95 million worth of TKO stock, according to a regulatory filing. Now, now McMahon's sale comprise 5.35 million shares of TKO per an SEC filing Monday. Now, that came after he sold 8.4 million shares of Class A common stock in TKO in a sale worth $670.3 million last November. Now, as of the end of 2023, now McMahon had owned, I cannot talk today, y'all, had owned 20.35 million shares of TKO group's Class A shares, meaning he still owns about 15 million shares. He was the longtime leader of WWE prior to its merger, which happened in September of 2023 with Endeavor, owned by UFC. Now, this past January, there was a former WWE employee. I won't give the lady's name, but a former WWE employee sued Mr. McMahon, and a former executive, John Laurinaitis, WWE executive John Laurinaitis, and the lawsuit alleges that McMahon abused and sexually exploited her, and also trafficked her to other men, including Laurinaitis. Now, one day after that lawsuit was filed, McMahon announced that he was resigning from TKO's board. However, he strongly denied the allegations of that lawsuit. Now, the sad thing is, guys, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. The previous year, McMahon was involved in the same thing. Multiple women had made allegations that he participated basically in similar acts that he's accused of right now. McMahon resigned from position to get the attention away from the company. Which to me, I'm like, you're still bringing the attention because there is nothing else you can say about Vince McMahon. Is like, okay, when you hear the name Vince McMahon, the first thing you think of is WWE. I'm a diehard wrestling fan. Whenever you hear Vince McMahon, WWE, so it's just like he can resign, he can hide all he wants, but hey, you still it's never going to leave you, man. That brand will never leave you. I am reading some more info. Uh, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much all that it's really putting out here on this article. But guys, this is not looking good. Now, Vince McMahon is almost 80 years old. Okay. You see, he has a little bit of a, I don't know, a midlife crisis because I don't know what in the world is that dye. That thing is jet black, and he got the mustache. It just looks creepy. It looks very scary. I'm sorry. It's very creepy. I apologize that I have this on the screen. But the reason why it's not looking good for Vince McMahon, for one, yes, he's denied allegations, but the first thing you do is, you're selling, you resign, you do this, you do that. It's like, and then guys, if you ever remember the Attitude Era of the WWE, and just wrestling in general, if you go back, in previous time, like now in the old days, probably the black and white days, women were actually like, they were really getting into it. They were fighting. They were fighters. Now, I'm gonna just speak on the Attitude Era because that's around the era I was born in. I was started watching wrestling stuff. Women was very sexualized. They weren't the best fighters. It's all about the bodies, right? Every storyline that involved them involved their body affairs, making out, or it was always like, hey, look, you got to seduce the boss, or you're having an affair with the boss, and this and that. Vince was always making sure I'm the boss. I'm gonna have some fun. He always had, a storyline involving him making out with a girl and the baddest one in the group, and it was just it was very odd because you're like, I know this is entertainment, but you are a married man. You're doing a lot of like wow stuff, even though wrestling is almost a form of theater. It's like watching a live Broadway play, except they participate in a wrestling ring. So you see that stuff, but it's like when it's kind of like the regular thing, like his character was the villain, misogynistic, arrogant. Uh, he thought he was the sexiest man out there. He even had something called the Kiss My Ass Club. And I quote, it was called, that's what it was called, where wrestlers literally had to pucker up and kiss this man's bare booty in front of millions and millions of people. Not just the thousands at the arena, but millions of people on TV. This guy is that's all I can say. And I mean, if you read into this story and these allegations with this former employee is saying that he forced her to do, it will really just like, it will blow your mind. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. But one, that just this news just came up about really yesterday that he's selling those shares, and that's a lot of money because McMahon is a billionaire. He got plenty of paper. Now currently his son-in-law, Triple H, Hunter Helmsley, I believe his legal name is. He has, or actually, I could be lying. It might be something else, but he is the current, basically the current guy in charge. I remember reading an article, and it was saying that this is the first time. This is the first time that that a McMahon is not employed by the WWE, and it's true because you had Vince McMahon, you had his wife Linda, you had Stephanie McMahon, his daughter, I believe, who was the oldest, and then the youngest was Shane McMahon, the son. They all wrestlers, performers, entertainers, but all higher up executives. Linda McMahon pretty much stayed away. She wasn't involved all the time with wrestling. I mean, she probably was behind the scenes, but not really in front of the camera as much. She eventually went on to uh uh in the politics. I think she ran for senator out in U.S. senator in Connecticut, where they live at. I know she was a part of the Trump administration during his term as president. So I mean, she did her thing. Shane McMahon started his business, came back out, and I keep on hearing like a beeping sound, yo. That's why I keep on looking like. But they were always involved. So this is the first time ever that no McMahon is involved in the WWE. So it's it's sad, but hey, again, these are all allegations. But if it comes out as truth, hey, justice will be served. But it's just it's a hard pill to swallow, man. It's a hard pill to swallow. But moving on, I'm gonna leave Mr. Nash there and move on to this other story that I thought was pretty interesting. So EA Sports announced that they are signing. Let me pull this up for you guys before I kind of get involved. Um, EA Sports had announced that uh, it it announced that they had signed basically a deal, a NIL deal with over 10,000 athletes. Now here's the kicker with this. So this reported by the San Diego Union Tribune. Let me try and scroll that up just a little bit more. So you can see a little bit of that. EA Sports is probably the largest sport video gaming company in the world. I mean, they've done most of the, I think, the Madden games. I believe they've done the NBA game, really all sports. Now in past years, I remember as a kid, they didn't just always have professional sports video games. They also had collegiate sports games, which was dope because honestly, sports fans love college sports sometimes more than they do pro sports. They're starting to love college sports even way more than the pros. Some people still have mixed reviews because of this NIL deal stuff, but to me, I love it because NIL, name, image, and likeness, it's giving the opportunities for collegiate athletes to receive money that can go in their pockets. Okay, because there has been the long conversation of, look, the collegiate athletes are the ones that bring in huge revenue to the universities, and that's very true because I know a slew. Me being in Virginia, you have, God, man, you have so many universities. Okay, I'm gonna try and name them all, right? Just in the state of Virginia, you have Old Dominion University, you have Norfolk State University, you have Hampton University, you have Virginia Wesleyan College, you have Christopher Newport University, you have UVA, you have oh Lord, you have Virginia Tech, you have Liberty University, you have UVA Wise, I think you have University of Lynchburg. I think that's 10. Uh I'm probably still I'm missing some, but those are just the 10 I can name right now. Now, out of those 10, I would say UVA, Virginia Tech, William and Mary, ODU, and possibly Liberty University. Those are the top, and that's considered big time sports schools. I actually took a class in college. It was on big time sports schools. And big time sports schools are the ones that are usually when you see the huge football stadiums, the size of pro football stadiums, that bring in a lot of numbers. Likewise for their college. VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University. That's another large one. Those schools bring in crazy revenue during their college basketball and college football. Those are always the two top sports that's always going to be the money grabbers, right? Now, with NIL, it was never fair for a college athlete before NIL because all the money that was being brought to the universities, guess how much money the players was getting paid? Zero. Okay. They were getting paid $0. Nothing, none of that. All those jerseys that was bought at the concession stands, jerseys with their names on them, jerseys with their numbers on them, didn't make any money. And kids used to always get, I mean, kids, the athletes will get punished for if they're seen signing autographs and getting paid, they'll get suspended. I might even lose scholarships. Like it was a vicious thing. Vicious. Okay. Um, I mean, I remember like Terrell Pryor, Ohio State quarterback at the time. I think he got, he did something involved where he was receiving some, gifts and stuff on the side and basically got called. Because I'll be honest, all players did it. Okay, it was a common thing. But all like it just you just couldn't get caught. But it was unfair because, I mean, let's be honest. You are bringing millions and millions of dollars to your university. In order for them to build this program, they take it some they take some of that stuff probably from athletics. Okay, it's just the college coaches. Nick Saban, now retired Nick Saban was making like what, 10 million a year, maybe well over 10 million a year. Football coaches, man. I think Fisher, Wimbo Fisher, I can't remember his name. I know he coached at Texas and also Florida State, but he was getting paid like almost 18 a year off coaching, college coaching. How much were the professors making? Nowhere near the millions. But I digress. Going into that, I bring up this article because I did some research on EA Sports, and EA Sports, they're worth about $37 billion. Okay, $1 billion. Now, and if I can try and get more of this on my in front of me. If I can do. So EA Sports, 37 billion. I'm gonna say they have $37 billion in the bank. Now the deal that they signed was about $6.6 million to over 10,000 athletes. 10,000 athletes. Which means it says the players who opted into the game will receive a minimum of $600 and a copy of the EA Sports College Football 25. Now, I'm trying not to cuss as much on this program because you don't know where the show can take me. You never know. You never know. A cop. I could care less of having a copy of the game. How many? You're telling me this game is produced in all, I guess, game stops and areas where people can buy video games. This is around the world. Okay, this is worldwide, and I'm getting $600. $600, and you guys are worth. You guys are worth 37 billion. A game now. The last time I had bought a football sports game, because this I haven't. I'm 28 now. Let me see. I think the last game that I had was a Madden game, but I was probably a senior in high school when's the last time I played video games. They were costing like $70. $70 for one game. So obviously y'all can do the math. So you tell me in all of the United States of America, somebody buys, multiple people buy a $70 game. I mean, it's crazy on how much money. And let's be honest, the college sports games, they don't even have like all of the universities, because there's like 107, there's 107 to be exact, HBCUs around the world, around the country. 107. And that's, I'm not including PWIs, predominantly white schools. So I mean, you might have I'm gonna just take a guess on like 80 teams, 80 schools on the video games, because those games mostly have Division 1, big D1, not small. You have smaller D1 schools, and then you have large D1 schools. So I think majority of them are like just small D1 schools. So again, I'm gonna just say 80. I don't have the number off the top of my head. I don't have it in front of me. But this is, I think, why there's always college athletes fighting for more money, and why they need NIL deals, because a lot of college athletes, they come from, they don't all come from a silver spoon. They don't all come from privileged families and households. This is their way out to help provide and get their family out of a bad situation. So you bring you recruit one kid. He has $10 in his bank account. Yeah, you feed him, you give him, you pay for his education, pay for his housing and stuff like that. But the schedule for a collegiate athlete is crazy extreme. What I mean by that, football, and I'm speaking just from close friends, and my wife was a collegiate athlete. I had friends that played college football. 5 a.m. Workouts. Okay, go to your classes. You might have a meeting at midday. You might have a midday practice again. Then you might have another evening meeting, and then keeps on going on. Oh, and then Friday you'll have travel because you have a football game you gotta do, whether you have a home game or an away game. Still gotta incorporate some time with your studies and all that stuff. Look, it was a job alone to be a student. Now you incorporate athlete into that. That's a whole nother lifestyle. So you're taking so much time, and again, it doesn't make sense for the fact that a huge institution is making money off of me, and all I get is $600. Nah, be that I don't roll. I don't like that. I do not like that one bit at all. I mean, it's a damn shame the fact that, again, EA Sports worth $37 billion, 37 billion, but they're gonna give just a little over 10,000 athletes $600 minimum. Even if I get 1,000, that's not enough. Even if I get 5,000, that's not enough for this game to make money off of me. Okay, for it to make money off of me, for y'all to use my ability, my status, especially at my popularity. If I'm a top tier athlete, oh, sir, I need to have at least, I'm gonna say 60. Give me 60K. But I also want, and I might be down balling myself on this one. I mean, low balling myself. Give me 60K. In addition, I will love some maybe like either some form of like a percentage, like a percent on the revenue that you guys make off of this, or like shares with EA Sports. I don't know. Something has to be more bang for my buck, because this just seems like it's a little bit unfair. And it's been a while since EA Sports has really had a recent video game. So I mean, a lot of people are anticipating this too. I don't know. Let me see here. EA Sports yearly college sports game stops being made. Okay, said EA Sports yearly college football games stopped being made in 2013 amid of lawsuits over using players' likeness without compensation. The games featured players that might not have had real life names, but resembled the seasoned stars in almost every way. The major hurdle was alleviated with the approval of NIL deals for college athletes. Okay. Yeah. So, and it says here they've been working on the new game at least since 2021. So we will continue to tune in more with that. I want to actually have some friends of mine to get their take on this that are former collegiate athletes, some that played in the pros. I might have them on a little later on in the program. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you all. I want to share that. I know this whole episode had been mostly catered to the sports, but like I mentioned before the show, we talk about anything and everything. Okay, we talk about anything and everything here on the Arrington Gavin podcast. Look, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed the convo. Please be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast, and also 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our video versions available on our YouTube channel, R Smooth Club Media, and on Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Podcast, R Smooth Club Podcast on Facebook, and RSC Media on X, formerly known as Twitter. Or I think you could type in R Smooth Club Media. You can find us on Twitter. But guys, I hope you enjoy yourself. I will see you again on Friday. I'm excited to have a guest on the Friday show. His name is Mr. James St. John. He is the chairperson for the Hampton Roads Libertarian Party. So I'll be excited to have him on. Just talk, of course, about 2024 elections locally and as well as the federal elections. Talk about more, of the growth of the Libertarian Party. I know a lot of people are leaning towards at least third party options. I'm not going to say specifically Libertarian, but they are leaning third party options because we are just not happy with with the two candidates we currently have. And I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I know a lot of people out there, a lot of voters, they're not satisfied with their options and they want to look for another option when it comes to who can I vote for, things like that. So we will have a great conversation. As you know, hey, I bring on people from all sides of the aisle, people that I agree with, people I disagree with, people. Again, I'm open book. All right. I welcome anybody here on this platform as long as you don't promote anything hateful or hate speech, anything like that. We don't allow that here on this program. No, we do not. But I'm excited because I have some great guests coming forward here on the Arrington Gavin podcast. Also, guys, every Sundays, tune into my weekly radio show in your city, hosted by myself, along with my good friends, comedian Ciroc Fox, Hustle Queen Miss Michelle Young, and our shout out to our awesome producer, Mr. Cam Gottlieb. In your city airs every Sundays at 12 p.m. on WNSB, Hot 91, the soul of VA, Hot 91.1 FM, the soul of VA. And no worries, if you can't find us on your radio dial, you can download the WNSB app. It is free. Shout out to the WNSB family. Very excited to be a part of them. Yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all today. Y'all be easy. I will see you all again on Friday here on the Arrington Gavin podcast. Yeah. Bye.